Welcome back, everybody, to the Catch Podcast. Good morning, might I say. To my right is Kenny.
How's it hanging?
Okay, that was weird. And to my left is Patrick.
Morning.
And I guess if you're watching on YouTube, it's inverted. But
To my knees, by the way,
Pod
Kenny.
number 10, boys.
Oh, yeah. It is.
Pod number
double
10.
digits.
That is crazy.
There should be some sort of celebration,
Did anybody
right?
hear what I said?
What'd you say?
Okay, don't worry about it. You'll figure it out later.
Should I? Are we good?
I didn't swear.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Just making sure you're good.
All right.
Making sure you're in
Today, we're going to be bringing up the NFL Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame game, almost around the corner. August.
But we're not talking about the Hall
I
of
know,
Fame.
Let him
but
go
like,
off on
it's-
his tangent.
Yeah, let
It's fine.
Colin talk.
No,
All right, my bad.
I was just going to say, anyway, I'm going to be bringing up players that are currently playing right now. And if they retired right this second, I'm going to be asking them if they would make the Hall of Fame. And I specifically chose people that were basically, 50-50, a coin flip. There's no right or wrong answer here. And I'm not going to be picking a winner between either of them. It's just going to be a conversation. And we're going to be informing you guys, too, because the Hall of Fame is a little bit weird if you don't know about it. There's certain positional things that you wouldn't think about. Like for centers, I'm pretty sure there's only like 4 centers in the Hall of Fame. Soon to be 5, Jason Kelsey, I hope.
Hopefully.
Probably.
But,
One of the things that I do want to do is when he talks about each player, I'm going to search them up because, I'm not going to act like I know every single thing about all of these guys. And I want to help you guys formulate your own opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe there's things we don't know, not just basic stats. Like, some players have had injury history that we don't remember because we were, 5, or drug problems, stuff like that. Because if you use PEDs or anything like that, you probably won't be considered.
Probably not.
3 things I'll say before we start. Number 1, accolades are very important. They're arguably the most important for when you guys look them up. Second thing, I'm using Pro Football Reference as a a guide. They have a scale. It's called the Pro Hall of Fame Monitor, I believe.
Sponsor us, please.
Please.
Football Reference.
But they have a scale, and they say, okay, they list all the players that are at that position in the Hall of Fame or not, and they say, okay, the average Hall of Fame receiver has a score of, and it's usually around 100, so we'll say 102 as an example. And I specifically tried to go for the players that are at a score of 51 maybe, if it was out of 102. So
right on the midway mark.
yeah, I said I had 3 things. I don't even remember the third thing. So
It's all right. It happens to the best of us.
Third thing, have fun.
yeah, always. I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue.
Okay,
I don't know.
just skip
It's
to
all
it.
right. It's all right.
I remember.
he's
I
got
remember. Yes. So these players that I'm gonna pick, I don't even know what I was about to say, but these players, I gave them a list of 20, like Pat and Kenny, but I'm only gonna pick 10 of them, and
we don't know which ones.
they don't know which 10 I'm picking, so they have a general idea, but when I bring these players up, just know they're not gonna know basically exactly who I'm bringing up.
So you're saying it's not scripted, is what
Exactly. Yeah.
what you're
it's not
trying to
scripted.
say.
Yes.
I'm going to be straight up right now. There's solid 10 to 15 players where it's straight off the dome.
You sure?
That's fair.
Really?
Because
Okay.
I feel like a lot of the casual fans, when they're talking about it, they just think of the name and then think of the most recent stuff that's happened.
Yeah.
That's why I want to give a natural reaction. Then we can dive deeper into it.
That's fine. A lot of these players are the big name players that we talk
Especially
about.
offensive linemen. I'm sure you can't ask a random NFL fan who won 2019 offensive AP Pro for left tackle.
Yeah.
They're not gonna know that.
That's true. Speaking of offensive linemen, let's start with one.
We jumping
There's
in?
2.
Yeah.
There's one.
There's 2? There's a lot more than 2.
Well, there's 2 that you...
No,
Oh,
there's
okay.
3 that you picked.
Do you want me to go over the original list?
If you would like to.
No, we don't
No?
need to. Just
Okay.
tell me
Okay.
this one.
Okay. So the first one we're going to be doing is Lane Johnson, tackle from the Philadelphia Eagles.
Only team he's been on.
Mm-hmm.
And
Some would say he was born on the Eagles, I guess.
Maybe.
He
was taken pretty early.
It was an inside joke.
he was a
I guess it
top,
didn't land.
He was lottery pick. I know that's not a thing in the NFL.
That
but
joke landed, I guess.
What did he say?
He's saying how the joke didn't land like an eagle because...
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Fine.
Lane
Clip
Johnson was a lottery pick. I know that's not a thing in the NFL, but NBA top 14, I believe. He was also he's a what is it? All-Pro selection in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
3 times. Has he been 3 times or 2?
Pretty sure it's 2.
times. Yep.
2 times. He's made the
first
Pro
team.
Bowl a bunch of times, and he's just been the consistent right tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles for the last 10 to 12 years. which I think is one of the most important things to consider when you have not necessarily skill position in the offensive line. Consistency and the accolades are there for him. I'm sure they could be better, but like his consistency definitely gives him a good like basis to be a Hall of Fame candidate. But
here we go.
He also had a couple performance-enhancing drugs problems.
Really?
Did?
I didn't know that.
not know that.
So people do think that it should, maybe warrant him not to be in the Hall of Fame.
I could agree with that.
Water under the bridge.
I don't know. At this point, I
To
feel
the
like
voters, no, that's not water.
I feel like if he retired right now, I don't know if he gets in.
So you're gonna say
Is that
no?
a no?
I think he needs more bona fide. As an offensive lineman, I think he just needs more awards. 3
Okay.
All-Pros, I don't know if it's going to do it.
Yeah, okay.
Patrick, I agree with you with the award stuff. I mean, 5 Pro Bowls, 2 All-Pros. That's
2?
2 All-Pros.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, no, he has 2
Two
first teams.
Yeah, first team.
Oh,
He
and then
made a
second
second team once.
Super
I
Bowl
believe.
champ. I feel like
Yes,
you would
that
want a
definitely
little.
helps his case.
I feel like you would want a little bit more there, especially in like the All Pros category, All Pro first team. But Lane Johnson has been one of the best tackles in the league for a very long time.
Very true.
And like you were saying before, very consistent. Not many injuries have stalled his career or his playing time there in Philadelphia. And for me, that's what does it for me. I think Lane Johnson deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, one thing I will say is there is kind of a lot of tackles in the Hall of Fame. I mean, I'm looking at the list right now. There's a good amount.
If he gets
so.
in, it's going to be late. I
Probably.
think he's
It
not
could
going
be,
to.
yeah.
I mean, that's still valid, and obviously, congratulations to him, but it's not going to be like instant recognition. This guy's got to go in right now, and they're definitely going to consider the PEDs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd give him 60% chance of going in.
I would say.
Well, actually, let me give you the number first.
Probably
Well,
like
let Pat guess.
I'll
'Cause
like,
you
No,
have-
I have to give him the number first, or you're not
What?
gonna be able to judge it well.
yeah.
Like
What
the
do you
average.
mean?
Huh?
Yeah.
No, you're telling us the answer. I want to
No,
guess.
I mean the average Hall of Fame tackle
Oh.
on this metric.
Oh, okay.
The average Hall of Fame tackle, according to this metric, is a 95.
What does that mean?
It
yeah, I'm
means, like,
confused. What?
I don't know. It's
What
hard to
is he
explain.
at?
That's what you have to.
Yeah,
guess.
that doesn't help us. Oh, okay. So,
like, you
If
have
to be a Hall of Famer, you have to be at a 95 by the time you
No,
retire.
you don't have to be, but that's what the average person is.
Okay, well, this guy, he's probably sitting at a 70.
Mm,
Here, I'm just going to do it this way. This
yeah,
is way
so-
too confusing.
so- yeah.
I'm going to give him a 55% chance to get in the
Okay.
Hall of Fame.
60, like I said before.
Okay, that his score was a 54, give or take a couple
That is-
So
decimals.
that's more than 95. That's more than half of 95.
Yes, correct. And
That's low, though.
I mean, I guess it
That
depends
is
on how
high.
you want to interpret it, but
I think what you were saying about the awards is honestly like what's kind of holding him back
It
a
could
little.
be, yeah.
When you compare him to a guy like Larry Allen, who probably has like 6
It's just the fact that the offensive linemen in the Hall of Fame right now, or at least the big ones, were dominant and dominant by like with accolades, not just. I mean, he was dominant by consistency and didn't get injured a lot, but he doesn't have the accolades to back it up.
Yeah,
I can see that.
I'm still sticking with my answer though. I think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, I'm gonna skip over one for now because it's a little bit controversial. It has a lot of meat and juice in it, so
Okay.
I'm gonna wait on that one. I'm gonna skip over it for now. The next one is gonna be safety for the Minnesota Vikings, Harrison Smith.
Oh my gosh, I forgot he's still in the league.
Harrison Smith, my answer is a no, and I'll tell you
Dang,
why.
that was quick.
He has 1 Pro Bowl, which is
One Pro Bowl.
1 Pro Bowl.
Says he has 6.
It says he has 6. Wait, hold on.
We need some
One All
fact
Pro.
checking.
One All Pro is
sir.
what I meant to say. Yes,
It's okay.
only 1 All Pro, first team, as Colin was saying before. And I was comparing his numbers to other safeties that are in the Hall of Fame, like Paul Krause, Brian Dawkins. He does not even come close to those people. There, like Colin was saying, there's certain positions that don't necessarily get in as much as others.
Safety.
Yeah, Harrison Smith, I don't think deserves
Well,
to
okay,
be
so I did a little bit of research into this one specifically. A lot of people have been saying he's been snubbed from a lot of all-pro teams.
Oh, definitely.
There's,
Yeah, I've been
like,
looking at the numbers.
you gotta
yeah.
count that too. Like
Mhm.
the accolades aren't
I do.
always
I did.
what they should
I
be.
did.
Okay.
I was
I'm just saying.
comparing full on stats though, not just like all
Yeah,
pros and
that's
Pro
fine.
Bowls. I was comparing stats. He does not even come close to Brian Dawkins.
Stats, yes, he only had 1 All Pro, and he kind of I would say his prime only lasted 5 years.
Yeah,
maybe
it was only
4.
like a good 5-year
He
stretch.
made Pro Bowl from like, I'm not sure the years, but it wasn't that long. But I also think when you think of Harrison Smith, you legit think of one of the best tackling safeties ever. So maybe he has a repertoire and like a, what's the word I'm looking for?
Tackling?
No, like his identity as a player is being the best at his position at something, which I think is definitely going to help him a lot. I don't know if he's going to get in purely off that, but I can see like them because they induct some players that don't deserve to get in. They induct like not Brian Dawkins, but some players have big names who just were good for really, really good for a short amount of time and then fell off and still in the Hall of Fame. So I think, I'm not going to say it's a guarantee, but I think he's got a slightly worse chance than Lane Johnson. I still think he could easily get in. I think he's one of the best tackling safeties that we've seen in the last time.
Yeah, I agree with you. His tackling numbers were less than Brian Dawkins, I might like to add, but Brian Dawkins also is the best safety that is played in the NFL, in my opinion.
Well, I've heard that.
Argument for a later time.
Since we need to hurry this up, should I just bring up the stat? Because we're already at...
Yeah, go ahead. I'm giving him like a 35% chance. His name's just not big enough.
Yeah, that's actually... Pat, do you want to throw a guess out there?
I mean, wait. I don't know how this works.
Just say your opinion.
I think he has a... I feel like this is lame again, but I think he's got like a 50% chance to get it. I feel like
that's the point of this video. That's why I picked him. But the average Hall of Fame NFL safety is a score of a 98, and the lowest safety that's in the Hall of Fame is a 48. So there is some low numbers in here. That's why
I also think one of the things that's going to be a big topic, and if he goes in the Hall of Fame or not, is he isn't necessarily the flashiest player.
Yeah, that is true.
As there's like big name players on defense, like Brian Dawkins, he had a whole dance and everything. He would scream at everyone and make big tackles, and like that's what he was known for. Harrison Smith was like that, but not as big, and he wasn't known for like being a ball hawk.
His name's just, I don't think his name is as feared as a guy like Brian Dawkins.
So he's not gonna get that grace of having that big name to get him in there.
Mm-hmm.
I do think his his statistical everything like that is a little underrated, but I would hope it would be better.
So the average is 98, but it is boosted by some very high numbers. All of these averages are. The lowest is a 48. Harrison Smith comes in at a 42. So I would say Kenny was kind of closer percentage-wise, but that's up to your own interpretation.
Who's the 48?
Let me check for it. Dick LeBeau. Never heard of him.
Yeah, he's old. If there's a 48 that's in the Hall of Fame and he's sitting at a 42 right now,
it's possible.
That seems like he's got a pretty high.
Yeah, but the next lowest is a 52, which I guess isn't that big of a
old
difference.
Head, like their stats weren't as good as nowadays. They were just good in their time.
Yeah, for sure.
He's not a modern day safety, but he's really good. Like he's basically a linebacker. I don't know.
We should probably move this along.
Yeah, we really need to hurry up.
Harrison Smith is making me.
Okay, I still don't know if I want to go into the meat and bones. Okay. Quarterback, Matt Stafford.
I just want to say I don't think this would be a conversation he didn't win the Super Bowl. Like
I'd say it's still close.
I think it's
I don't think it's close if he didn't win the Super Bowl.
Closer because of the Super Bowl. If he didn't win the Super Bowl, he's got nothing going for him.
I disagree with you.
Comeback player of the year?
No.
He's got 340 touchdowns.
His numbers, which is 11th all time.
Yeah, you need
all
more
those
than
people
that.
above him are in the Hall of Fame are going to be in the Hall of Fame. All the people below, well, not all the people below him, obviously, but most people below him that are close to his numbers are in the Hall of Fame.
I just think I don't know. I just value accolades a lot more than
I do too. And I was looking at his numbers. He should have had so many more Pro Bowls, so many.
Yeah,
more
a lot of
pros.
these players do get snubbed.
You got to remember, he's playing in an era when Peyton Manning was around, Drew Brees was around, Tom Brady was around. Those guys are definitely going to outshine someone who's playing in Detroit.
Also those are winning QBs. He's not a winning quarterback
because he was in Detroit for so
wins
many
aren't
years.
a QB stat.
Wins are definitely accounted for a quarterback.
It doesn't matter. He got a Super Bowl.
He's not as successful as some other quarterbacks.
No, he's not. But
he doesn't have to be.
Yeah, if you win a Super Bowl, you put up good stats year in and year out, you're going to go in the Hall of Fame.
But he doesn't win.
Personally,
which is why he won't get
it's
in.
kind of-
He was on Detroit.
Okay,
It was
they
a
don't.
failing
They
franchise.
don't care. They're gonna say he didn't win. He didn't make the team win. He only won one Super Bowl. He only made one or two big playoff runs. I mean, I could easily see them ignoring his pretty good stats for being not a winning quarterback. There's plenty of QBs that are like that.
I think they're gonna take into
Okay,
consideration that
you know
the
all
team
those 10
around
guys
him was
above
awful.
him are very
wanna-
great. He's
Yes.
not great.
Matt
Can I
Stafford
add a
is
stat
great
here?
quarterback
Can I add a
in
stat
his,
here?
in
Great
his own
QB, not a great.
stats.
I'm going to add a stat here. It's just going to be to speed it up a little bit. According to this metric, there is 6 lower quarterbacks that are currently in the Hall of Fame that have a lower Hall of Fame
Those are
monitor
probably
score.
from old. I hope they're from old people, right?
Nope.
Who's the young one
Yeah, who's one that we would know?
recently?
Joe Namath.
Joe Namath.
Well, not
Joe Namath is
recently. I'm
crazy.
Old
just
as
saying you know.
dirt.
Yeah, well, Joe Namath is very old.
Well, I'm
There's
not saying old. I'm saying you know who he is.
Okay.
Warren
No,
Moon
I'm
is another
saying
one.
That's all the way
It's-
back in Super Bowl II.
Yeah, that's
I
why
guess,
he
yeah.
got in. I'm saying is there's someone that was as.
Oh, never mind. I counted wrong. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So is there anyone from like the 2000s,
No.
90s?
Either way, I don't
90s?
care
I
about
don't-
that. Matt Stafford belongs in the Hall of Fame. Put
I
up
would have
great
to agree,
numbers.
even though it's not.
Maybe he
should've been-
belongs in the Hall of Fame, but this isn't. I'm basing this off of do I think he's going to get in? I think he's not a winning quarterback, and I think they're looking at that more than a lot of others.
Okay, but you have
I
to
think
realize
there's an 80% chance he gets in.
there's a crazy amount of quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame. Like, and if you want the score, it just cut out on me, but the average of this metric for a quarterback is 108, which is higher than we've seen so far.
Yeah, because
His score is a 79, though. That's very solid.
wait,
It's pretty
the
solid.
average is 108.
Yeah, the average is 108. He's at a 79.
If
There's
you're-
8 people that have a lower score than him that are in the Hall of
Yeah,
Fame.
I
because they
want to know
probably have
those
more
8
Super
people.
I can
Bowls,
name you the
Definitely-
8 people.
and
Exactly.
Okay, he still deserves to be in the Hall of Fame with the numbers he's put
I-
up. He's playing in an era when Tom Brady, Peyton Manning,
Once again,
all
they're
these
not
people
gonna.
were ruling the league.
Yeah, but they're not gonna think about that.
If you
like
put
that.
prime Matt Stafford, actually, I was gonna say right now, right now maybe not, but Matt Stafford deserves to be in the Hall of Fame just because of his stats alone. 11th all time in passing yards, 11th all time
You
in
can't
touchdowns.
put a guy in the Hall of Fame that has a losing record. That's
It's not
crazy.
because of him though.
Okay,
it's
but
because
you
of the
still
team
can't
in
do
Detroit.
it. You still can't do it.
So one stat I want to bring up, you were mentioning he was at like 11th all time, 10th all time in certain things.
Yeah.
There's 21 quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame. So, I mean, if he's basically half splitting that for all-time stats, I think that's, valid for
I don't know if that really helps me out
Yeah,
all
I
too
don't know.
much.
how.
Because you're comparing, you got to remember, a lot of these people are old.
And they
Like,
also
they're
got in the Hall
way
of
back
Fame when
when
the
they
guys
were-
weren't going.
yeah, when they were running the ball all the
I
time.
guess,
So-
but
The,
if he's 10th
the
all
rubric
time,
to get in the Hall of Fame has gotten harder, especially for quarterbacks, and I think they're
Yeah.
just not going to let him in because of
It's
a
a
winning
coin
record,
flip either
which
way.
may be BS, but I think that's what's going to happen.
Okay, that's fine.
Agree to disagree, Pat.
The next player I want to bring up. First off, I'm gonna call an audible. I have 10 players listed. There's no way we're getting through 10.
No, not
We'll
unless
go
we
for
wanna go for
5.
an
If
hour.
we have
Alright.
time, maybe we'll do 6. But 5. At this point, I'm just gonna kind of pick based off my list. I'm not gonna go in order.
Okay.
We'll go Chris Jones, defensive tackle from the
Chris
Chiefs.
Jones.
I gotta scroll down. No. Chris
No?
Jones, no.
Chris
Okay.
Jones.
I think Chris Jones still has a bunch to prove, to be honest with you. He's
I
one of the
think-
best Hold on.
Okay.
He's one of the best defensive tackles in the league, no doubt. But I mean, all he really has going for him are these Super Bowls that he has.
Which is pretty dang important.
If you're a
The
leading
Super
player,
If
Bowls
you're the
are
best
important.
defensive player on a Super Bowl winning team for
But-
multiple years, you're probably going to have a really dang good chance. Not to mention he's been an
But
All-Pro.
We know a lot of those Super Bowls were really because of Patrick Mahomes. I'm sorry.
Literally not true.
it's because
I'm
of the
sorry.
Literally,
team.
I'm
what?
sorry, that's the-
Literally
That's
not
kind of a
true.
casual
That's the truth.
statement.
It may be a
that's-
casual statement. I
That
think Patrick
defense has
Mahomes
literally
has been the
won
big
him
reason why he
games.
He can be a big
Maybe.
reason without being the only reason.
Exactly. I mean, that's like saying Patrick Mahomes was the MVP.
But all I'm saying is he has those Super Bowls. He really doesn't have anything else going for him. Whether you agree with me on that statement or not,
He's had multiple. Okay. First of all, he's been a second team All-Pro 3 times. He was third in defense. Dude, he's still got a lot going. He's what, 29?
Yeah, he's got a lot going for him.
He's 29 and he's probably
wrong.
already in the Hall of Fame.
Don't get me
or
wrong.
Close to it.
He's
3 rings.
Close, sure.
3 rings
I'll
and
agree
All
with you. He's not
Pro.
in.
This man's been Defensive Player of the Year. He's gonna get in the Hall of Fame.
He almost said Super
His
Bowl.
numbers.
He's not gonna
I was
fall
comparing
off.
his numbers to other people in the Hall of Fame at his position.
You're acting like this is like it's just not
needs-
it's not statistical top 10s. It's not how the Hall of Fame works.
I'm not saying that. I was comparing his numbers to people that are in the Hall of Fame. You should somewhat be close, especially in this era. You honestly should be over some of those older players.
No, you shouldn't. Reggie White Reggie White and Bruce
I
Smith's
wasn't
record are
comparing him
never
to
going to
Reggie
be
White.
touched
Reggie White
ever.
was an edge. They were edges.
He's played edge. He played defensive tackle and edge.
He's
There's
mostly
a
playing.
long
feel like
time.
there's-
Before
tackle.
Karlaftis got drafted, he played edge for a long time.
There's a lot of stats that also like can't really cover defensive tackles. Like, I don't think Pro Football Reference covers like pressures, or like
Yeah.
I guess it covers tackle for loss, but it doesn't really cover
I
his
think
run
watching
stopping
the eye
ability.
test, seeing this man, what he is, if he keeps doing what he's doing at 29,
Okay, you keep saying if he keeps doing what he's
Yeah,
doing.
we're talking
he's
about
gonna.
right now.
Talking about right now. He retires.
That's
Is he in the
valid.
Hall of Fame?
yeah,
No.
3 rings.
We
3
want to go
rings.
to the
3 rings, best defensive player on the team, been an All-Pro before.
what's it called? The jury? Do we want to go to the jury?
How do we
Which
go?
is Pro Football
that
Reference.
silly metric thingy.
Yeah,
What, you don't like it?
No, let's
No.
just see what it says.
It's
I
just-
want to hear it.
Okay,
I don't.
So
I don't believe it.
average is 102 for a defensive tackle. There's one person in the Hall of Fame that's lower score than him. Average is 102. He has a 57.
So he's more than halfway there.
Yeah, a little bit more.
So wasn't that the same with Lane Johnson? Pretty much.
Give
You're
or
saying
take,
he's
yeah.
like a Lane Johnson.
Like
Except
55%
he's-
maybe. Like coin flip,
I don't know.
which is the point.
The 3
I-
Super Bowls help. Sure, I'll give him.
I
that.
think right now, I'll tone it down a little bit. I'll give him a 6. I think he's higher than most. I think I just value the rings and everything.
Do you think
I'll
he's
give him-
higher than Matt Stafford's chances?
No way.
Right now,
Yeah. Well, yeah. Right
Yeah,
now we're
yeah.
You keep
Yeah.
saying like we're
Yeah.
talking about in the future. Right now you do.
barely, but yeah.
I don't think so.
I feel
don't
like
think
you're really high on the Super Bowls.
That's
That's
fine.
wild.
That's his opinion. That's
Yeah. I think right now Chris Jones 30% chance. I feel like you still have a lot more to do in your career. I think Chris Jones could go down as one of the best defensive tackles ever.
you could, yeah. But we're not really talking about that.
Yeah.
once
No,
again.
we're not. I'm just saying.
All right, the 5th player I'll bring up. This is kind of hard because I have such a big list. I'm gonna go. Ooh, this is hard. I'm gonna go Cam Jordan.
Cam Jordan.
Cam
This is our
Jordan.
last one.
Jeez.
Unless I decide I'll do a 6. We'll see.
That man has been
you
playing.
You want to go first, or do you want me to go first? Because I have my answer.
You have your answer?
Yeah, I have this already.
He did
down.
his research.
I did my research.
Well, yeah, but like, I mean, I have my answer when he said it, but I think yes.
What? Yes, I say
Yeah.
yes as well. He's a 8-time Pro Bowler, and this really does I feel like this helps him a lot. He was an all-time. He was a part of the all-time 2010s team.
Yeah,
That
Yeah,
helps
I did see
a
that.
tremendous amount.
Once again, the longevity, which is probably just as hard, maybe a slightly bit harder at a defensive end. I mean, right tackle's pretty hard, but he's had 10 sack seasons all way back in 2013 till like 2 years ago. He's been the best defensive player on that team for a long time. Him, Marshawn Lattimore, probably. That's about it. And I think his ability to like produce he's a really good run stopper as well. Very, very good.
Definitely.
He's got good accolades, 8 Pro Bowls. He was defensive player of the year. He was in defense player of the year voting a couple times, twice. All Pro, second team. And I think right now at the age of 34 with 117 sacks, 153
Solid
tackles for
numbers.
loss, he's in the Hall of Fame.
If
I
he
think the
retires right
only
now.
thing that's
I think
kinda
what's
hurting-
holding him back is like I think he just needs more output. Like if he's went to a different team than the Saints, when
Maybe.
they're down.
Maybe.
I think he needs to get his. I don't know. I want to say get his name out a little more. Just
That's
like,
not. It's not the time for that. Man's
Yeah.
34 years old.
But I'm just saying, like, if you compare him to a guy like J.J. Watt, a typical
Yeah,
person's
true.
gonna say J.J. Watt should be over him any day of the
Well,
week.
I do also agree with that typical person. I just think
But like you were saying
J.J.
before,
Watt
I look more in the
yeah.
numbers. You look more into like.
J.J. Watt
primes.
had a big explosive prime that was 20 sack seasons, tackles for loss, pick sixes, everything. Cam Jordan was, don't get me wrong, very good, but not as good, but stayed good.
He sustained it for way longer than
Which,
J.J. Watt.
in the case of the statistical stuff, he's just racking up constant 8, 9, 10 sack seasons.
Mm-hmm. That's like what we were saying with Harrison Smith. Like, Cam Jordan's consistent.
You know, at this point, after all 4 guys,
5 now.
This is the 5th.
Cam Jordan, Matt Stafford, Lane Johnson, Chris Jones,
Harrison Smith.
I think Lane Johnson may be the lowest for me.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Chris Jones for me.
Okay. Do you want to know the metrics?
Yeah,
now?
let me.
All right,
I don't care about it, but sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
This one's, I think, a little bit higher than you'd think. Maybe not. Average is 104. He's sitting in right now at a 81.
82.
81. That was close. There's currently 7, 6, 7. I don't feel like counting that, but people that have a lower score. And he's also, because it goes by pages on this, he's on the first page. Like, he's right up there with all the other
Also, the
Hall of
one thing I
Famers,
do want to say is, like, talking about, they all play different positions. And Matt Stafford, like, I keep going back to the Matt Stafford, Chris Jones thing. I think there's different values, and QB is the most important position in the NFL. When you're going in there, they're gonna look at the wins. They're gonna look at playoff stuff, which I mean, they're not gonna look at like wins for a defensive lineman. They're just gonna
probably
look at sacks. I don't know. That's just my thinking. All right, we probably can do.
We want to do one more. I mean, we're at about 26.
Let's just go to 0 to
Let's
hero.
do one more.
we can
one.
speed run it.
Okay.
I'm gonna try not to pick a controversial.
Offensive side of the ball. We just did.
That's perfect because I had one
Okay.
right in mind. You guys probably don't think this guy's close, but he's a lot closer than I think you guys might think. That's DeAndre Hopkins.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Trust me, he's closer than you would imagine, and closer than.
I was looking at the stats. There's a certain thing he's good at, and that's yards. He's really high up on total yards as a receiver. Touchdowns, he's nowhere near the top 10. I believe he was like 30th or 40th or something. He has the awards.
Jeez, dude, if Deshaun Watson stayed with that man, he would have been. If he stayed with.
Well,
he has the awards, has solid numbers. He's just fallen. He has seasons, and then
this is the way I'm thinking. Once again, with the people that are in the wide receiver room, we talked about this a couple podcasts ago. There's so many stacked wide receivers that are not in the Hall of Fame,
and there's also a lot in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
it's another position like quarterback where
I think
there's
wide
so many
receiver
in there.
may have like the biggest talent.
I'll count
so many good players that aren't in, and then so many good players that are in. I think he will probably at this point. I don't think he makes it, but literally give him a year or two.
Yeah.
Once he gets like he could reach top 10 yards.
Yeah,
probably would get up there.
But like you were saying before, with like a guy like Lane Johnson, he has had issues off the field with certain drugs. Wasn't it last season? No, not last season. 2 seasons ago.
It was with Arizona. Yeah.
Yeah,
correct.
He got suspended for 9 games.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I kind of forgot about that part. To be
He got suspended
honest.
for 7 games. Yeah.
Well, I guess that lowers his chance a little bit because Pro Football Reference can't really judge that.
Missing those games, being in probably a top 3 hardest position group to get into the Hall of Fame, and not having that consistency at the end of your career, which is how DeAndre Jordan and Lane Johnson are
DeAndre Jordan.
DeAndre Jordan.
Cam
He's an NBA player, buddy.
Lob City Clippers.
That was the best team to watch. Not gonna lie. Okay,
know,
we're
right?
getting off topic.
All right, anyways, but I think the longevity is also a thing. So he hasn't really been the greatest the last 3 years. So
yeah, that's fair.
I don't think right now he gets in.
Yours is a no too.
No.
All right, I'll bring
He's
up
just had such a short prime.
the score. Yeah. I know you guys don't care, but I want to do it for consistency.
No, I'm fine.
Average wide receiver.
Okay, tell me the average. I'm gonna guess the score.
Okay, average is 101.
He's at a 68.
54.
He's at a 71.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I will say there is 30
yards.
There's 30 wide receivers in the Hall of Fame.
That's crazy.
And I believe that's probably the most of any position if I had to guess, because running backs don't get in that much. Yeah. So we're gonna close up on that. You want to go to 0 to hero now?
Let's go.
I'm going to have to pick, for this episode, we'll go with Pat, starting off with a 0.
Thank you. I appreciate it. 0?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So my 0 for this week, and kind of a big dub for me, but a 0 for the Las Vegas Raiders and maybe some Las Vegas Raiders fans with the only good thing going on with their team, at least in the offensive side of the ball, Davante Adams. Once again, rumors are swirling about him and Aaron Rodgers circling back together, meeting now in New York with the Jets, as Aaron Rodgers was at a golf tournament. Was at a golf tournament, and he said that he couldn't wait to play with Davante Adams again. Like, they're going to play again in New York. So,
it's a W for you.
Yeah, but if I was Las Vegas, seeing my best player in my offense, even entertaining stuff like that, would frankly piss me off. Like, you're supposed to be loyal to Las Vegas and the Raiders, what we're doing here. I mean, Antonio Pierce probably is not very happy about that. But I don't know if he's going to actually get traded. But the way the Raiders are looking, if stuff starts going downhill in the beginning of the season, I could see Joe Douglas and the Jets being aggressive.
Big deadline trade, maybe.
Yeah. But if it does happen, I don't know if we're going to give up. I'm not sure how much we're going to give up. Hopefully the Raiders at least do some good for themselves.
There is a couple things I actually want to add on when you're
get
done.
Some stuff from the Jets, but knowing the NFL, they'll end up with like a 4th-round pick.
Okay. Can I go? I got 2 real quick things.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the NFL, the Netflix series Receiver, there's a clip of him basically saying, like, I need to get out of here. This is, like, ruining my life. And he was talking about Las Vegas. He's like, I'm not, like, he's talking about the hits he was getting, like, football hits.
I don't know. I thought it was known that he didn't like the team.
Yeah, and
for a long time, it's been a thing that he wasn't going to be on the Raiders for much longer.
The other thing I was going to bring up is Josh Jacobs actually texted him, and the messages got not leaked, but they showed what he said. Mm-hmm. Josh Jacobs, because he used to be his teammate in Las Vegas, he said, hey, you want to come back to the Packers? Davante basically, he didn't say no. I mean, he didn't say yes by any means at all, but he didn't say no. He was just kind of like, I don't know, we'll see. And for Raiders fans, you want to just be like,
in
no.
general, if that was me, I mean, Kenny, you don't have Stephon Diggs anymore, but if Jordan Love or if Josh Allen was even entertaining the fact of leaving the team, Jordan Love or Garrett Wilson or someone like that, it would piss you off. And maybe, I mean, not with Josh Allen, but like Garrett Wilson, he's not a quarterback. I would probably want him gone after that. If he's not loyal to the organization, I don't want him on the team.
That's fair enough.
Kenny, who is your 0 of this week?
My 0 involves basketball. I just want to say how it's kind of ironic how we're a football podcast, and that's like one of the first times we actually talk about football on Hero.
Hey, that is true.
But my 0 involves the USA men's basketball team. Kawhi Leonard leaving the team. I think that's a really big deal.
For the team or for him?
For the
both?
Team.
Okay.
I feel like they could really use Kawhi, especially like his defensive abilities that he has on the court. He's an amazing defender.
Do we know why he left? Wasn't it injury or something?
Yeah. The Clippers organization really wants him to be healthy for the next upcoming season.
Can't really blame him, but
so he decided to drop out.
Being replaced by Derek
I don't know.
White.
Like, why would you join for?
Why would he join and then leave at that point? That just doesn't make sense to me.
I'm pretty sure it was like during the season that he joined too. Like everyone made a commitment during the season. He went through the practices.
No, Kawhi was the last guy.
Oh, okay.
I think that was what happened.
Either way, he went through all the practices. He did that big scrimmage against like the U18 team, U20 team. Yeah, and then you drop out after that.
I don't see the point in that, really.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. And now you're leaving Team USA with Derek White, who's not awful, but Derek White's coming off on short notice. I feel like that kind of screws him over.
And he's just not the same. I mean, he's a great defender. He's just not the same caliber that Kawhi Leonard is. I mean,
it's two different positions.
Kawhi got nicknamed the LeBron stopper, so that's crazy. But now he's not on the team. But I will defend him a little bit. He was the 12th man on the team, the last pick, basically.
Yeah.
He wasn't one of those guys that was going on Instagram and posting everything about it. He just got put on the team a couple months ago. So maybe he was like, maybe I'll try it out, and then didn't see what... I mean, it's USA. They have options.
Yeah, for sure.
But it just stinks for them that he's leaving, right before.
Yeah, like you're saying. Like, take care of yourself. that's obviously number one.
But if you're gonna do
it
it,
just
at least
sucks
think
for-
about it before we're
it
in the
sucks
middle
for
of it.
U.S.
Yeah.
fans that want to see him
I'm going to
play.
stick on the same track for my loser. Well, my zero, I should say. I feel like I've brought this guy up a lot. Like, honestly, too much at this point. But, my zero is Greg Berhalter himself.
I don't like that name.
Yeah, I don't know. It pisses me off, just the thought of his name. But, he got fired. I seriously doubt he's going to get hired by any soccer team ever again. Maybe a lower division team in God knows where, but he was not a good coach at all, not a winning coach. He won all the easy games. He lost all the even relatively difficult games.
I believe the statistic was they didn't beat a top 25 national team besides
Other than Mexico, correct. And Mexico, if you know anything about international soccer, they're on the decline.
Yeah.
That's not really a big win right there.
And it wasn't like, I don't even think wasn't it in the CONCACAF final?
It was the Gold Cup, yeah.
Oh, and it was close.
Yeah, he got fired after 6 years. He was in charge for 6 years. The fact that he could control the team for 6 years is crazy. I mean, I'm glad they fired him, but I wish they never rehired him 2 years ago after the World Cup. But, I mean, sucks for him, but I'm happy about it. But let's move on to our heroes. I started with Pat for zero, so I'm actually going to start with Kenny for hero. Kenny can go.
Kenny, you're up, dog.
My hero involves the USA team again.
Wow.
Oh, here we go.
But this
It's going
time,
to be, they got Derek White.
Well, it
We're
is the
going-
Olympics. So.
Going down to the U18 or U20 team, Cooper Flag absolutely showed
White
out
Kobe.
in the big scrimmage
Like
against the
6'10".
men's national team. That's like the big team. He was just scoring on everybody. He was
AD?
making those NBA defenders
Yeah.
looking just like a casual game, really.
Yeah, like a pickup game at the YMCA.
He's declared to Duke, if I'm not wrong.
You're right.
Yep.
We
This
said that in
kid's
sync.
going to be insane.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm buying into all the hype. I feel like it's kind of stupid of me not to buy into the hype when he just cooked like
Professional
all-star
yeah.
players. But I don't know. I'll have to see. There's been players like that before. I just want to see what he does with Duke and what's his name? What's the new coach's name?
I couldn't tell you.
John
tell you.
Shire.
John Shire.
Yeah. So I want to see how he does in the new system.
Well-
And Duke's always stacked, so I'm not sure. But Colin, is it my turn for the hero? I want to.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I knew Kenny was done. Jalen Brunson just signed a major contract, but my winner is actually going to be the Knicks. Because, I mean, Jalen Brunson, $156 million. He took a $113 million discount off of Supermax to help them with a bunch of other players, like Mikal Bridges is now on the team, and maybe more to come. So I think the Knicks basically keeping the second best point guard in the league for
Yeah.
not even a
You could
Supermax
argue that,
deal,
yeah.
still for like I believe it's 5 years. 4 years for a 4-year deal, and it's not a Supermax. I mean, there's players like Derek White getting Supermaxes who
Yeah.
aren't top 3 in their position. No offense, Derek, I know. Go Team USA, but still, the Knicks get a big dub here, and it also shows that Jalen Brunson really wants to win.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, he didn't take the pay cut just because his Villanova teammate is now on the team, but hopefully they're opening it up for other players after
Did you see what he tweeted
Yeah,
yesterday?
that was hilarious.
the
Butt dial?
the butt dial.
Yeah, that was...
Well, obviously it wasn't over because bro just got
Yeah.
a big payday, but not
Well,
that big.
Yeah.
Not that big. It's very admirable of him, and hopefully
You don't see a lot of players doing that nowadays.
You don't see any players doing that.
I mean, LeBron kind of did it, but not really.
Okay, but LeBron's also a billionaire. He doesn't really care about the money.
Oh,
But anyways, I think the Knicks need to go and get someone else
Go all
for
in.
Isaiah Hartenstein to
Hartenstein.
replace him.
Oh, yeah.
So with that $113 million, they just didn't pay.
Yeah,
Hopefully they can
yeah.
use it. All right, Colin.
You guys have been talking about a lot of basketball. I guess I'm just a soccer guy now because I'm going to be talking about soccer again. I think this is the most obvious winner, hero of the week. And he is a literal hero. That is a 16-year-old professional soccer player on the Spain national team.
The next Messi.
Yeah, pretty much. His
Spanish
name is,
Messi.
forgive me if I butcher this. Lamine Yamal.
Good job.
Lamine Yamal. Okay.
Pretty
Yeah,
good.
I got it. But he scored a left-footed goal, curved it right, top left bins, from outside the box.
Yeah, it was outside the 18. Right?
Yeah, right off of a kickoff too. Basically, I mean, he scored within, I believe, probably 30 seconds of when they kicked the ball off after a goal from the opposing team. He came right back, went right down the field, curler, top ends at 16 years old. I mean, and then he went up to the camera, and he want to know. Do you know what he said?
I think he said something about talking. I don't know.
He spoke another.
He said speak
He
now.
said speak now, but in whatever language he speaks, which is absolutely cold as
That's
a 16-year-old. I mean,
He's got all the confidence in the world.
he
but
can't
after
even
he did that-
legally drive yet, really.
Man's still wearing braces on the pitch. No lie.
I know we're overtime here, but I'd like to say he got subbed out in the 75th minute because the country rules say minors can't work past 8 o'clock. So he had to get subbed off.
He had to get subbed off 30 minutes beforehand so he could go change out of his work uniform, aka his Spain jersey.
Yeah, national
which is crazy.
Team, yeah, it's just absolutely insane.
What a life of a 16-year-old. I just want to say I was working when I saw the tweet of the goal, and I was like, that man is younger than me, and he is playing in front of 100,000 people, and I'm sitting here making minimum wage. So, best of both worlds, I guess. Not really. I wish I was him, but
yeah, I think a lot of people do. Do you want to end this one? Me? Okay. I don't think I've actually done it. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.